A poem by Billy Collins, Dharma. The way the dog trots out the front door every morning, without a hat or an umbrella, without any money, or the keys to her doghouse, never fails to fill the saucer of my heart with milky admiration. Who provides a finer example of a life without encumbrance? Thoreau in his curtainless hut, with a single plate, a single spoon? Gandhi with his staff and his holy diapers? Off she goes into the material world, with nothing but her brown coat and her modest blue collar, falling only her wet nose, the twin portals of her steady breathing, followed only by the plume of her tail. If only she did not shove the cat aside every morning and eat all his food, what a model of self-containment she would be. What a paragon of earthly detachment. If only she were not so eager for a rub behind the ears, so acrobatic in her welcomes. If only I were not her god.
Greetings, friends, fellow peers, and honorable teacher of literature. My name is Sagar Sharma, and today I would like to take a moment of your time to discuss my independent reading project. The book I read is one of the most revered of the ancient Hindu religious texts, the Bhagavad Gita. Written thousands of years ago, it depicts the dialogue between Hindu god Lord Krishna and Prince Arjuna on the morning of an epic battle. But this is not just a simple story of war. According to translator Ignatius, it is a handbook for self-realization and a guide to self-awareness. Friends, maybe you are still wondering what the word Dharma means. In simpler terms, in the religion of Hinduism, Dharma is the basic universal laws by which every Hindu should abide, so they can live a contented life. In many cases, having a good karma is having a great amount of self-realization and self-awareness. Siddhartha Gautama, also known as the Buddha, once declared, "To give yourself without regret is the greatest charity." Many of the teachings that are preached in Hinduism and Buddhism revolve around the concept that letting go of the need to want is one of the greatest roles an individual can take for self-awareness and leading their dharma on a good path, for karma. So the question I sought to conquer was, in order to achieve this worldly self-awareness and understanding that every person around the world, regardless of religious affiliation, tries to seek at some point in their lives, is letting go of material objects a key component for true contentment. In the poem I previously read aloud, Dharma by Billy Collins, he refers to the lives of dogs. In it he analyzes the actions of dogs. Off she goes into the material world, Collins poetically declares, with nothing but her brown coat and her modest blue collar, following only her wet nose, the twin portals of her steady breathing, followed only by the plume of her tail. What he is trying to tell us is how dogs do not have any material desires. They do not engage in the gossip that we humans engage in. And they do not keeping up with the Jones mentality that we undeniably undergo. And in this poem, Billy Collins truly displays the sheer contentment that the canine species enjoys without the need to follow our social cues of materialism. It is evident that Billy Collins' diction and tone in this poem is one that is reflective of a person with deep admiration for the behavior of these animals. Stylistically speaking, Collins' word choice reflects his true feelings, and is presented to the audience in a way that they too feel with Collins' emotions towards dogs. Ironically, this poem is titled Dharma for the utter fact that the way in which dogs lead their lives is a symbol of how humans should live, without the desire for material objects, and the result that would be the untamed emotion of excitement and contentedness that canines feel. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is trying to explain to Prince Arjuna how it is Dharma or life path that he wants to lead his army to war. In it, he explains to Arjuna that, quote, "People who do not place their faith in this Dharma, O burner of the foe, do not attain me, but return to the path of death and material existence." What Lord Krishna is telling Prince Arjuna is one who does not abide by an existence that is for the most part free of crime and ill decision, and on a path of clear conscience, are bound on a path of greed and that is brought on by material desires. Therefore, they lack in the simple area of pure happiness, as envy and the need to want consumes them. The stylistic components Lord Krishna uses in his dialogue with Prince Arjuna is one that takes on a tone of complete confidence and understanding, obviously due to the fact that Lord Krishna is all-knowing, as he is a god. Ignatius, translator for this version of the epic dialogue, states that the Bhagavad Gita essentially is, quote, "the war within, the struggle for self-mastery that every human being must wage if he or she is to emerge from life victorious, and that the language of battle is often found in the scriptures, for it conveys the strenuous, long, drawn-out campaign we must wage to free ourselves from the tyranny of the ego, the cause of all our suffering and sorrow." Iswaran's word choice in his message to the audience is one that involves great amounts of persuasive technique. Usage of words such as victorious helps to convey a particular sense of confidence to the reader that helps the audience to determine the ethos of Iswaran as a scholar. His phrasing effectively contributes to the message that the Bhagavad Gita is a story of war, and how battle is similar to the way in which our lives function as a constant battle to figure our problems. In it, he states that if we can rid ourselves of the need for an ego or the care for judgments, humans will lead more fulfilling lives. I would like to examine the song Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. Many believe this song to be an explanation of the effects of drugs while being used, but I do not. In fact, I believe it to be the clear mindset of the duo Gnarls Barkley, and it preaches the necessity to let go of judgment and materialistic desires for contentment. Let's listen to the song.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions had an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much.
What the song is trying to effectively communicate is the singer's experience after letting go of the constant judgment being dealt his way. The quote from the song even says, "Even your emotions had an echo in so much space." While the singer is in this new state of mind as he relieves himself from his material desires, he begins to feel like a new person, someone who's truly refreshed by his new path. When he says, "I just knew too much," he is saying he chooses this world of not competing and ego games because he has endured with the world with it, and he has the knowledge to overcome the barriers that our judgmental, ego-based society is based on. This is definitely a song that upholds the meaning and necessity of the need to let go of materialism to achieve true self-awareness. The stylistic aspect of this song helps to also convey the message to the listener through clear, easy-to-understand word usage. All in all, these different areas we have discussed today, it is apparent that in many that this is in form of many cases, from an ancient dialogue from a religious text to a poem and to even a modern song. The necessity to let go of materialistic objectives and the constant need for judgment in our ego-based world is one that is upheld with a great amount of ethos. There is no telling when society will change as a whole, but every individual can make a change. And collectively, one could possibly live in a materialistic, egotistic-free society world one day. Thank you for your time.